How's it going, my fellow admins? And today we are talking about Aether Gazer, and I really just want to go over Countertide Whalesong. As much as I made fun of the Countertide, like, come on. Like, we're only a couple letters away from something else now, aren't we? Anyway, Countertide was a splendid event. It's still going. We've got a couple more days left. And I originally thought to myself, like, how is this thing going to last as long as I have it? And a big portion of that comes from the fact that when you take a look at your challenges, you have 3 things that refresh regularly. You have Recurring Dream that refreshes regularly, which I didn't do yet, and I need to get on that. You have Hazard Zone, Dimensional Variable. And Dimensional Variable, boy, don't we have a lot of things to say about that. But Countertide was what feels like a huge event, like just massive, and it came out in waves too. It comes out with a little bit, so you get your Azure Catch, which is like this silly little mini game, and you're like, oh, okay, what's this about? But you do play it for a little bit, and you don't have to play it the whole time, which I love, because, like, you know, you play it in your phases, and you have your event story that you do cover as well, and a lot of this is like that exploratory stuff. And then when you get to the final bit of it, you do have this little storyline beneath the waves. And all of this is a mixture of introduction to the character banner that comes out for both of them. And I love that. I love that it was this event made for these characters. Has this set me up for failure in expectation later on? Like, will they be able to continue this on? I don't know, because I don't want to spoil myself and look ahead and be able to give up that kind of headway. But I can say that, like, they just did a stellar job. Another portion of it was, as you kind of, if you've watched my videos, you'll know that I was just over the moon for this little F-Zero thing, you know, and being able to just, like, it just felt so polished and so clean, and it's just, it felt like such a big part of the game that there was no reason not to enjoy it, you know. And I loved every single stage, and it for a mobile game, I actually felt like I did better on my phone than I did using a controller, which you can with BlueStacks. And I thought, like, okay, those are pretty cool so far. And then the next portion is Access Key Boost, and this is just like bosses that you go over, and you create, and it's a 1v1. And this, like, it seemed a little daunting at first because you do pick your character, and then you have your boost chips and such. And I felt like, you know, as I've mentioned multiple times, I am not the best solo player when it comes to games like these. I feel like my dodging is, like, awful. Comboing, I'm not very great at. But it wasn't too hard, and it was just challenging enough for me to really enjoy it. And then you have Inverse Limit. I haven't even fully finished this yet at Extreme, but you do still get awards, so I'm going to try Extreme a little bit before it's done. But this was pretty cool too, and it's just like, you know, and you're just making it harder for yourself when the certain characters get boosted and certain do not. And then Battlefield Simulation, again, we have one more to go, and just nice and simple. You get rewards, and that's probably one of the best parts, is the rewards, and the fact that, like, they don't make it so hard and unachievable, that you can kind of just go through this event at a very nice pace and not feel like, ugh, like, I'm not going to be able to beat this because I'm under leveled. I'm not going to be able to beat this because I'm new. They give you characters to play with in some of the stages. Like, when you're building your team, let's see if I can do it here. When you're building your team, some of it is with the characters that come in with the game, you know, must-have characters or mandatory characters. There you go. And some, they give you trial characters. Sorry, I'm, like, totally failing selecting the trial characters, but they give you the trial characters at, like, a decent level. Not, like, you know, you could definitely, as a player, you could get them to exceed their CP or combat power and still do it, but, like, they give you a character that's, like, leveled enough to be able to, like, beat the bosses. Same with Access Key Boost when this came out, and you could select your character. you can still, there we go. So you can just use these tryout characters that, like, you know, all hovering around 1600 16k CP, which is great. And you get to try out the character too, and still be able to use them and have them help you clear content. So you're never just left not being able to do anything as a new player, which I thought, like, why don't just games do this all the time? Like, if you want somebody to pull on a character, why not give them that, like, here's something that you can put into practice. You know, you can put this character with your team, or you could just use the whole trial team and whatever. And, you know, the character trials will help you learn a little bit more as well, so you can give it a go. But I feel like as a gacha game, this event was just done right. It was for the amount of time. So again, you can see August 1st is like going to be the end date. But for the amount of time that has gone on, there has been more than enough content. You cycled through 2 batches of characters, by the way, because we are on the second batch. The first batch had Apollo, Scotty, and 2 other units that you could do your character trials with and use them in the whatever events were existing at the time. I think Access Key Boost was one of them. You could still use Scotty here. And it's not like they were weak, and that's just crazy to think, because I had my fair share of skepticism when it came out, but again, you can see that they made it so simple for you to just expect and know when things were coming. The dates are there. That's not time. That's the dates of, like, you know, of when everything will release. And yeah, color me impressed. I am just so surprised with Aether Gazer over and over again, with everything that's going on. And I know that only more will happen with Hera coming out, Hades coming out. It's going to be great, because they give you a very nice variety to choose from. So props to dev team, really making it feel like summer, doing a splendid job. This is kind of it for the video. I just kind of wanted to really shout out the content that has come out so far, like the big content that has come out so far for Aether Gazer. I think newer players should feel like they can join in at any point in time for an event and not feel overwhelmed, because you can still play with your characters, and there will be the tryout characters that you will have there to kind of help you get through the content, because there's story in there that just makes the game get bigger with, like, its lore and world building. It's just yeah. It's just great. Anyway, so that's it. If you've watched until this point, please feel free to like and subscribe. If I get to one of my milestones, whether it's going to be 1,000 subs or 100k views, I would love to, you know, do a little raffle for some gunpla for somebody to celebrate hitting that milestone, because that would just be an absolute dream as my channel continues to grow surprisingly. And it's great. Thank you everyone so far, especially the AG community. Y'all have been awesome on Reddit and comments and Discord and such. So thank you. Have a great day. And if you're anywhere near me, you just got so much water from the crazy rainstorm that's happening right now. Take care, everyone.